Hey, Shalom, Akim, see Yabataz. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders of the great millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, striving for the whole full leg, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Basham Kakadash, Barakatham, Akim. I just want to go into this new Netflix show that just came out. It was in the month of October. The beginning of this month, and it's called DayBreak. And it's an American comedy drama series, and it says navigating a post-apocalyptic world full of zombies and Mad Max style gangs, teenage outcast searches for his love. So basically, this Netflix show it's has like 10 episodes up on Netflix right now, but it has a scene leading up into how this and it's crazy because this place or this show, the setting of it where it occurred is in Glendale, California. Okay, and we know that everything that's going on in California right now, and but that leads to this apocalyptic doomsday type scene in this show was led by way of ICBM missiles, man, by a thermonuclear destruction being detonated upon California. And when you watch the scene, there's more than one that was dropped. Okay, and which leads to this man navigating through the show, because it goes back and forth from, when everything was right, you know what I'm saying, before the war, before any type of natural disasters had, going into, the ICBM missiles, when they're just going about their own daily things, their daily lives, and it jumps back and forth from that to the, them being the aftermath of the destruction. Okay, but you'll notice in this show there's a lot of there's truth and a buffoonery in it, you know what I'm saying, but we know how this generation is very, very wicked, you know what I'm saying. They are very disrespectful. They're very they disregard anything that is good, and they're basically nothing but monsters, man, reprobates, defiled individuals. And that's what you'll begin to see in this show. I've only been able to watch episode 1, but I noticed, how it has that scene of the ICBM missile being detonated. I want to bring out a scripture real quick here in the book of Proverbs, just regarding this generation. This is Proverbs 30:11. There is a generation that curseth their father and doth not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. Okay, and we know what Yahweh Shai said, that this he's likened this generation as faithless, perverse, a wicked generation, man. During the time he was on the scene, and it still lingers in it lingers to this time in 2019, man, and beyond, until Yahweh Shai comes back, because everything after the Third World War pops off, it's gonna be, people are gonna be wicked. Martial law is gonna be implemented, civil unrest, civil war. The racial tension is ultimately going to come to its climax, and everything's going to burst open, man. Everybody's going to show their true colors. And basically in this show, that's what they're going into. They're going into that in the first episode. He explains it, And I can show you the scene. I'm not going to show you the scene, but I'm just going to have it right here. It's a DayBreak bomb scene. You see it just going off right there, and it occurred in the nighttime. And if you notice in the far right hand corner, you see another one being detonated off way in the far back, and you look over here to the right, the bottom right, right beneath like lower, going towards that light post to the right, you'll see a little dim light. That's another bomb being detonated. All right, and you know, so that's the scene, and it goes into how, what they're doing and stuff like that up to that point, and it goes into them being, in that scene of the doomsday. You know what I'm saying? Like the aftermath. All right. So I want to bring out Second Peter's 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last day scoffers walking after their own lust. So that's what this generation is, man. This generation is faithless, perverse generation who do not bless, or who curse at their father and their mother, that don't bless them, that don't deserve Yahweh nor the law, statutes, commandments, or his son Yahweh Shai. And then in this movie, or in this show, you see a bunch of subliminal messages. You know what I'm saying? Like in everything they show, homosexuality is in this show. Rebellious, narcissistic individuals. And there's one thing that he said to assholes, like they're in our time today, like, you know what I'm saying? So the assholes are assholes, right? But he said after the bomb hit, the aftermath, that they got worse, that they didn't cease from being assholes. They if anything, it encouraged them to be even worse. And that's true. It's gonna happen, man. Okay. It says 2 Peter 3:4, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. You see, and that's what they be saying. And then when it comes to pass, we know in the scriptures that certain men are gonna display this animalistic characteristics. You know what I'm saying? Cannibalism, raping, murdering, and doing all forms of abominable acts. Okay, we know this, but there's gonna be a lot of them that are gonna turn into females. Like just be straight out, afraid. It says, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth stood out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Talking about during the time of Noah. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So once those ICBM missiles hit, man, they're gonna devour all you men, women, and children, elderly. It don't matter. Animals are gonna be devoured by way of the fire. Okay, here in America, it's gonna be utterly desolate. Okay, parched, dried up. Okay, and we're just getting a glimpse, a small level glimpse of what's going on in California right now with the wildfires, compared to what's really gonna happen, man. Okay, when those ICBM missiles hit America, it's gonna be devastating. Ain't nothing gonna be alive, and if there is, it's gonna be underground bunkers, and they're gonna be searched out by way of the men of the Lord, the angels, Yahweh Shai. Okay, verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. And that's referring to the elect. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Okay, and as it said, but the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. Now that scene that I showed you, I'm gonna go back, where the bomb is being detonated. All right, it happened in the nighttime. Okay, represents when the Lord says he comes a thief in the night, it's symbolic for he can come at any time and you don't expect him to. But it's just funny how in this scene it's nighttime and the bomb's being detonated. Okay, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Okay, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. See, everything's being burned up. So what we're witnessing in California is just a small glimpse of what's really going to come. Okay, this is a foreshadowing of what's really coming, and we're warning you of that. We're sounding the alarm, telling you these things. They're even showing you in the movies. They're showing you in this show, Netflix. They showed you American Horror, the American Horror Story. Okay? What they call the apocalypse or the doomsday, which is the Third World War, man. They're going to destroy America. They're going to destroy you, inhabitants of the earth. And it's going to be all through the program, the prophecy of Yahweh Shai. Going back to 2 Peter 3:11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. You see? So everything's going to be destroyed, man. You know? But in this show, they're making mockery. You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch it, it's just a bunch of mockery, you know? A bunch of bullshit. But I mean, some of it is going to be reality. Okay? But once those bombs hit, ain't nothing going to be alive, man. Everything's going to be underground bunkers, and when the angels of the Lord are going to gather them up. Okay? There ain't going to be no, like the title of the show is DayBreak. There ain't going to be no dawning for you wicked ass motherfuckers to thrive again, to live on the earth again. Y'all going to be destroyed. This is that day. You know? Okay? Like it says in let me bring it out. Brothers, bear with me. This is Nahum 1:6. Who can stand before his indignation? And who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? And his fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. So nothing can stand. You guys out there that are acting like you're gonna be able to withstand this power that's about to come upon the earth. That's it. That's that strong delusion, man. That's that fairy tale state of mind that you think you're gonna be able to stand before his indignation. That's part of his indignation, man. Dropping these bombs, these ICBM missiles, man. You know, you ain't gonna stand before that, man. All right, let's go over here. Oh, let me get this lined up real quick. All right. It goes on to say, Nahum 1:7, the Lord is good and a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. But with an overflowing flood he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do you imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. You see? You're not going to rise up a second time. Okay, this wicked and perverse generation, this faithless generation is not going to prosper. You will be destroyed. You are created to be fuel to the fire. Okay, like I said, it's no coincidence that this show is located or located in Glendale, California, man. Because over there, man, it's nothing but the land of the fruits and nuts. You know, weirdos, Holly weird. You know, witches and warlocks. They're being judged, man, and all America is going to be judged. Babylon, aka also spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. And this is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourself with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? See, and they think, we know that they show truth in these videos, but at the same time, some people don't believe it's really going to happen. That's why the Lord said that in the last day there should be scoffers and mockers, right? But the Lord is telling you, man, a sword is sent among you, and who may turn it back? A prophecy is coming as a double-edged sword upon you, man. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that he may drive them away? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it had begun to burn? May one turn away the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? And one of the plagues, the ultimate plague, is the ICBM missiles, man. It says, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. Therefore, Yahweh and before Yahweh and before the glory of His power, man. How are these waves gonna rise up from the deep? Because by way of those missiles, man, hitting the waters, hitting the land. Okay. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Coming out of them silos, man. They're going to be launched out. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returned not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. You see? And that's those ICBMs. So nothing's gonna be able to live in that time, man. And they're showing you in this show that they're gonna live and survive, this, that, and the third. Hell no, man. This place is it. Once these bombs hit, that's it, man. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna go into underground bunkers, but they're gonna be gathered up by way of the angels, man. And they show you that in the American Horror Story, how they went to the underground bunker. And I already know about that wicked ass show, but it wasn't gonna be for no good. They were handpicked to be taken into the safety. And I already knew off the rip. I was like, man, they're gonna be used for wickedness, and that's exactly what happened in that show. They're put in there, bunch of faggots and lesbians and all kinds of shit, and being murdered, and that's all it's gonna be for. But it's not because you're gonna exist and continue to exist. Yahweh B'Shem Shai is gonna search you out, all right, and bring you into captivity. This is get another one real quick since I mentioned that. This is Amos 9. And 1, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them. And I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go into captivity and before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good. Okay? So no matter where you go, where you try to hide, you are going to be destroyed. You will be taken into captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Okay? This is Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it? for you. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? You see? So the Yahweh Shema Shai is coming back, man. And when he allows these men of the earth to release these missiles, these ICBM missiles upon the earth, that's it. Okay? There's not gonna be no recovering or rebuilding. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be a devastation, and it's gonna be America will not be able to bring itself back up from that, man. Okay? So I just wanted to bring this out for y'all brothers. You know, that Netflix show DayBreak. It's up to you if you want to watch it. I mean, this is a bunch of Edomites, and you got a fucking Jake that's in it, but he's a damn homosexual from what I can tell. And but yeah, man, they're just showing you how these little punks, you know, these 2/3, these heathens, you know, they think they got it. You know what I'm saying? They actually think they got it, that they're not gonna see evil, nor they're gonna see the demise of themselves. They're gonna continue. Like Esau has that mindset, thinks he's always gonna exist. You know, but Yahweh Shai said, I shall bring you down. I'm gonna bring you down. I'm gonna throw down. Okay? So we're just bearing witness to this truth, to the prophecies, and letting these people know, you know, that you're dead wrong, man. You're not going to recover. Okay? Affliction shall not rise up a second time. So with that, y'all brothers, like I said, if y'all want to check it out, check it out. Not, it's cool. But again, they're showing us in these shows, Esau, that war is coming. So with that, shalom.